I just got this overwhelming sense of unconditional love coming into my heart space because I feel so loved. I am so loved by my angels, spirit guides, ancestors, and loved ones and beings of love and light. It is overwhelming sometimes that I cry. True story. Tuning your human battlefield. Tuning your human battlefield. Hello, collective. It's me, Patience, your favorite psychic spirit medium. Hello. I'm so excited to be here. I am so excited. I don't know why I psych myself out all the time. I love being here with you. I often, through my thoughts of silliness, psych myself out from being here because sometimes, we have to transmute our thoughts of self doubt and force ourselves to do things that make us uncomfortable sometimes. And I admit that sometimes it does make me uncomfortable to talk in front of people and to present this non-physical information, this spiritual information that I receive from my spirit team, my angels, because I don't want to be judged and I don't want to be looked at as less than. But I know in my heart that what I'm doing is for good and I'm using my powers for good, and that is more important than myself. That's more important than me. It's not about me all the time. So I push myself to do it when I'm called, and today is a day that I was definitely called. I was called yesterday, but I was so tired. I was like, listen, I will bring your message through, but let me take this day to rest. And so Spirit said juicy. Oh geez. So I'm going to bring the message through today, but first, my name is Patience. Hello, I am so happy to be here with you. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, Patience with Spirit. I am your host of Spirit News on Spotify, where we teach you about your non-physical energy and how that pertains to your soul and your body and your mind, and how through finding joy you can control your thoughts and your emotions to be a master manifester, a co-creator of the universe that you came here to be with Holy Divine Spirit, not in separation from it, but with Holy Divine Spirit. So we have a lot of downloads and we'll touch on some of them. I'm building the next Spirit News episode, which is so exciting. I love the way that Spirit brings the knowledge to me, the information to me, and like almost like in blocks of information, so it's not too much. Hello there. Thank you so much for being here. Mal 123. 123 is like my birthday. 1283. 123. Thank you for being here. So we're excited to present you with that. We're not going to tell you what it is though, because we don't want to give it away, but it's a really cool episode. We have a lot of information about integration, integrating soul fragments, which is really cool. So I'm excited to share with you how we have been presented with the knowledge of that. So hopefully it helps the collective out from going from the head to the heart, because that's where we're going. But I am a childhood psychic. I was born this way. I cannot help the way I was born. Yes, 80s, we're just at 80. I was born in 83. I cannot help the way I was born. We believe here at Spirit News that everybody's psychic. Your non-physical energy, that is your soul, is what we have labeled as psychic, which is just a word, but it is what gives you those intuitive hits. It's the energy that propels you, that moves you. It's your soul's electromagnetic frequency. It's electric, it's light, it's frequency, it's vibration. That's what you're truly made of, and you're here having a human experience. So you're first and foremost non-physical. You are not human, and you came here to have a physical experience so that you can experience temporariness And you wanted to do that because you wanted to try and remember what love feels like in a physical body, so you could love all the things about your physical existence and experience it in physicality because you're non-physical. So that's what you came here to do, and we're helping you remember that as we shift consciousness here in real time. We're in the age of Aquarius where we're going from the head to the heart, and a lot of people are all spirits and no love. A lot of people are experiencing right now turmoil, I guess you could say, because they've lived in their head for so long. It's very uncomfortable to be in their emotions, but it's not because the universe is against them or the creator is against them or doesn't want to help them. It's actually something that you have to go through in order to overcome those emotional obstacles that you haven't looked at yet. So hopefully through these reads, we by bringing forward the energies that want to come through and tell their human stories of their human perspectives, we learn a little bit about why they made the choices they did and how they got to where they got. And so I think that's why a lot of celebrities come through, because in this age of Aquarius, a lot of truths are going to be coming out. And something, and Spirit said in the dark when we first started, um, to be celebrity, a lot of things happen in the dark that no longer match the energy we're going into. And so it's a shift of it's a paradigm shift, a shift of consciousness, of the way things work, because they're not going to work that way anymore, which is fantastic. But there's just like this little interim, this little section of time where those who too many to count, those who didn't make the shift on their own are kind of being given a little push forward in that direction to look at their stuff. Mystic Healer, thank you so much. Hi, thank you for being here. So that's my spiel, okay? That's my spiel. If you want to know more of the metaphysical information that we share, you can find that on Spirit News. You can find all of our socials in the link tree in the description bar. We have put all of our socials there for you so you can be a part of our community. We would absolutely love that because we love you. We're here for you. You are not alone in this time as you're being activated. I'm sure you're having lots of crazy dreams. You're having lots of crazy mood swings. You're feeling really tired. I'm sure you're feeling like a lot of people might not be understanding what you're going through. Everybody's at different levels, but we got you, boo. We're here for you. We understand what's going on. We just ask you that you come with love no matter what situation you find yourself in, to choose love in any and all situations. Do not choose fear. Fear is not an option. Fear will take you to places you don't want to go. And so you have to remember that you are not human. You're not your emotions. Your emotions will come and go. They will ebb and flow. And they're just trying to show you things that you need to let go of or things you need to transmute. So we're here to help you do that. So I had someone come through, which was completely random and also exciting at the same time because I honestly did not see this one coming, and I'm so interested in bringing them through. I am so excited for the way that they contacted me, and it's the energy of Chris Kelly. And I honestly didn't know this person's name, which I felt really bad about, and I apologize for that. But I did know of KrisCross, okay? You know, KrisCross will make you jump, jump. The Daddy Mac will make you jump, jump. Come on, KrisCross. Chris Kelly. There's Mac Daddy, which is his other half. It's a duo rap group. Totally was into them when I was in the 90s. That was like what I grew up on. And but I admit that I don't know a ton about them, and I didn't know a ton about them um far further than that song, honestly. And I'm really sorry, Chris Kelly, that to say that, but I want to be honest, I didn't know a ton about them. So yesterday, well, let me pull it up because I wrote them down. I just want to make sure I remember them all. So I always write down any energies that come through, and if you guys watch me, you know I do the if it's 3 is for me. So I ask anyone that comes through, I will make a note of it, and I will write the name down, and then I'll ask them if you want me to bring your message forward. I would be happy to do that. Please give me 3 signs that it's you and you match divine energy and you want me to bring your message through. So I did that with this situation, Chris Kelly from KrisCross, and it was yesterday, and I got 3 in one day, which usually takes a little bit of time. Maybe because I'm not being as receptive, I gotta take responsibility, and I'm just not seeing the signs, or just takes a little bit of time. But this happened in one day, and I was like, dang. So it started in the morning. I get up at 3 in the morning to go to work, and I like to peruse. I like to get a little gossip news about celebrities, because it kind of gives me, I've said this before, but it kind of gives me like a macro, higher perspective of the energy of what's going on in the entertainment world. And for whatever reason, I'm just really drawn to that, or it just interests me very much. So maybe that's why these past over celebrities come to me. I'm not sure. But before I found a video to watch, Spirit had said Christopher. And I was like, okay. And, I made a mental note of it. Christopher, okay, sure. And then I picked the video, and I was watching the video, and Jermaine Dupri came up. And I've heard a lot of, rumors about Jermaine Dupri. So I was listening to that. I was really drawn to that information. The video was about rumors about Jermaine Dupri, but he's not passed over. He's still alive. So I can't, I will not, and I cannot break the universal law of free will. I will not read anybody that does not give me permission. So if they're alive and I'm not in contact with them to ask them permission, I'm not going to tap into their energy, because that's against cosmic law. So I can't tap into Jermaine Dupri's energy. But they started talking about CrisCross and how they were found by Jermaine Dupri, and and then they said the name of one of the kids in that group, and it was Chris Kelly, and I was like, oh shit, Christopher. So that was 2. Then and then later on that day, or when I got to work, I saw there was a to-go order for a baking order, and the name on it was Christopher, and that was 3. 3 is for me. So I was like, okay, okay, I got you, boo. I got you. No problem. I will bring you through. So Chris Kelly is here with us. He has a message he wants to share. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm going to do my best to be receptive, to not put any restrictions on the way the information comes through. We have the necrometer here to help guide us in the right direction, so we can understand what we're reading. We got a we got a comment recently that using the necrometer is cheating, and I simply replied, "Is it cheating to use a power drill over a screwdriver?" And for me, there's a multitude of reasons why I use the necrometer. First of all, I'm very new. I'm very new to doing this gift. And so, yeah, I do need help, because I don't want to misinterpret the information and not have help to help me understand in real time what I'm getting. I want to be sure, because it's a great responsibility to have this gift and to not take it serious, and I want to take it seriously. So I have the necrometer. I was guided to use the necrometer, which it is a form of divination. So we do recommend that if you use the necrometer, that you have a clear space that you put your protection on, that you have a high level of discernment, that you know the difference between higher level energy and non higher level energy, and how to read it, and how to cast it out if it should have a space to come through, because you will get whatever you're a match for. So if I've cleared my field to 144,000 hertz, That is what they say chosen is. That we don't like to say chosen because it implies that only a certain amount of people can be chosen. Everyone is chosen. Everyone's chosen, but only few answer the call. So the call is to do the work to clear your own field so you have Christ consciousness. And then when you use a tool like oracle cards or like the necrometer, then you have a clear field and you'll attract where you're at. So we just wanted to throw that out there for, I don't know who needed to hear that, but okay. Hello, Marie Lightworker. Oh, thank you, PPP fan, Triple P fan. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, that coffee's so good. Thank you. I'm so excited for my coffee. Oh my god, I just love taking sips of coffee. I don't know what it is. Okay, let me do a little prayer. I feel like I have to do a prayer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Holy Divine Spirits, angels, spirit guides, ancestors, loved ones, beings of love and light. Chris Kelly, thank you so much for being here. It is my honor to be of service to the collective, to use my powers for good. I am so excited to be here in this vessel, co-creating with you in this magical way. Thank you all for all the love, guidance, and support. I truly, truly appreciate all of my blessings. I'm truly favored and highly blessed, and I have everything I need, and everything works out for me, and I'm happy right now, and I'm happy to bring the messages forward. So please tell us. Please give me a prayer to start us off, to send us on our way. Prayer for rescue from persecutors. Psalm 17. Rescue from persecutors. Hear, Lord, my plea for justice. Oh, damn, Chris, you ain't playing. It seems that Chris is looking for justice. Pay heed to my cry. Listen to my prayer from lips without guile. From you let my vindication come. Oh, you want me to find your vindication? Oh, I'm here for you, bro. I'm gonna cry already. Your eyes see what is right. You have tested my heart. Searched it in the night, you have tried me by fire, but find no malice in me. My mouth has not transgressed as others often do. As your lips have instructed me, I have kept from the way of the lawless. My steps have kept to your paths, my feet have not faltered. I call upon you, answer me, O God. Turn your ear to me, hear my speech, show your wonderful mercy. You who deliver with your right arm those who seek refuge from their foes. Oh, keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me in the shadow of your wings from the wicked who despoil me. My Spirit just said right. My ravenous enemies press upon me. They close their hearts, they fill their mouths with proud roaring. Their steps even now encircle me. They watch closely, keeping low to the ground like lions eager for prey. I just got this image in my head of, you remember Dusk Till Dawn? And when they turn into vampires, they're kind of like that. They're like, like low, and they're like creeping, and they're watching for this, for them to like make a wrong move. That's like the image I just got in my head when I read that. Slay them with your sword. Rescue my soul from the wicked. Cast them down. And Spirit said go down a few words ago. Go down, evil. In the name of Jesus. Snatch them from the world in their prime. Oh, snatched from the world in their prime. Yeah, he was only 34 years old. Only 34. I am a light worker new to the world. As God's helper, I was awakened and healed from trauma in 2022. People who are chosen, is hard for them. Hey, Earth Angel. Yes, blessings of sunshine and warmth to all present today. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Marie Lightworker, for spreading the love. I love that. I love it. I do. I love it so much. It makes me feel so good to read such wonderful messages because sometimes the messages I read in there I just gotta ignore. But I love that. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. So, Chris was snatched from the world in his prime. Their bellies are being filled with your friends. Their children are satisfied too, for they share what is left with their young. Ooh. Mhm. I am just, let me see your face. When I awake, let me be filled with your presence. Amen. So clearly, clearly, Chris Kelly is seeking vindication and justice for being snatched from the world in their prime. He was only 34, possibly from lions eager for prey that lurk on young lion and ambush them. They're ravenous. Ugh. They're wicked and they despoiled him. He was seeking refuge from their foes, but he may not have matched divine energy. Maybe he was going through because of this trauma, whatever this trauma that transgressed on him by these enemies made him. That's the thing that we're learning is that and that's so funny because I was called to listen to Bible stories today, and not to be like really religious because we're not religious at all. We're spiritual. Our religion is love and forgiveness. But to understand the how history repeats itself, and often those stories are lessons that are well to be heard because they repeat themselves, just in different ways, obviously in a more modern time. So but people take the same actions of jealousy, of envy, of fear, that create a lot of the same situations. So it's fair to say that there are still energies that are still in that energy to some of the stories of the Bible that I only listened to two today. I listened to the story of Paul, the apostle, and of, oh, what the heck was his name? Oh my gosh, he was the Jewish Pharisee converted that converted because Jesus came to him in a vision and was like, why are you doing all this? And he had stopped him from persecuting Jesus's followers and Jesus. And he converted from being a Jew to being the new way, not Christian, but they called it the new way before they called it Christianity. Anyway, I don't know why that was important. Something about religion. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so some kind of justice. We're gonna bring justice, I guess, to this situation. Now, there's something I want to work on as a spirit medium that I feel like I could be better at, and it's asking questions. Sometimes I get too caught up in finding the next clue that I don't formulate the next question. I don't want to like guide the reading, but I want to like receive the information, but I also want to ask the right question so I can receive the answer. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to get better at that. So that's something I'm going to try to do today. If you guys have any questions, please put it in the comments. I need help because sometimes when you're when you're receptive and you're getting the information, it's almost like you're just like, okay, what's next, 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 instead of like, okay, Well, if this happened, why did that happen? You know, it's kind of, I want to like try to do that. So, this person maybe. Thank you so much, Chris Kelly, for being with us. I will do my best to bring your enemies to justice, to give you vindication for whatever happened to you. Please tell us more. Please tell us what happened to you. Impression versus expression. Impression versus expression. And there's a little bird flying out of a box. Impression versus expression. Mm. Okay, well, right out the gate, what I get automatically is he's saying that he was. Thank you. He was given. I just thought of. Spirit said makings, and I just thought of making the band. He was given an opportunity to express himself, but it ended up being more about impression versus expression because it came more about the image, about what it looked like, about how it acted, about how it sounded, instead of how it felt, how it wanted to actually be, something like that. He felt like it must be carried out something. It was like their image was carried out with a lot of consideration without care of their sensitivity, of his sensitivity. Mm. Hmm. Okay, okay, so it said share. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna say what I'm getting. He could have been a very sensitive person. He could have been somebody who's very energetically sensitive, and that might have been something that wasn't taken into consideration when it came to this image that they were creating, this impression. Um, it may have led to some kind of unexpected illnesses and other circumstances that created some kind of trauma that should have been taken, that was delicate, a delicate process. Hmm. This basically he would could have been like had behavioral issues or been very emotional or had gone through some kind of um been going through some kind of grief or something like that that may have elevated his sensitivity or something that made him uncertain. Yeah, that's something that was, I was just going to say unexpected, and Spirit said uncertain. So something that happened unexpectedly that changed the circumstances that may have brought some kind of illness to him, some kind of incorrect, Spirit said incorrect. That something happened oh, I get what you're saying. Something happened unexpected that came from illness, that was ill. It what, so that means something that happened to him was, oh my, oh my god, that's so funny. I don't know if I can say that. I'm just gonna say it. You know, it's ill, like, you know, like in the 90s, they're like, yeah, that's ill. I feel like that's something they would have said. This says unexpected illness. Something happened to him that was unexpected that was done in illness. So something that wasn't natural, something that was not good, basically. Something that was sick illness is sick. Something that was sick. Mm, okay. What else, Chris Kelly? Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry that something happened to you. Do you want to elaborate on that, or do you want to go in another direction? September. Isn't there a song called September, or is that November? I don't know. When I said September, I got a vision of Saturn. I don't know if those two are related, but I just got a vision of Saturn. Something about Saturn. What's a recent change you've noticed in yourself? So he started to, something unnatural happened to him that was sick that caused him. Didn't I say he was emotional? He started to change his behavior and his. Oh, I got you saying. And it because he was grieving because something happened to him. He that was unexpected. He may not have had a way to um have a compassionate ear to listen to him. He may not have had enough evidence to prove that what happened to him, and whatever happened to him was unexpected and unnatural, and he didn't think it was possible for anyone to believe him, I think, is what he's saying. Um, and so it caused him to have some kind of noticeably different demeanor or change in his emotional state and the way he carried himself and the way he acted from day to day, because because whatever happened to him wasn't good. When was a time you shared your truth, even if it felt risky? I told you, didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? He felt like he didn't have anyone who would believe him. When was a time you shared your truth, even if it was risky? He didn't have anyone to tell this truth to that would believe him because he didn't have evidence of it. And he didn't believe anyone would be compassionate enough to understand what he went through because it was so horrible. He felt like they wouldn't believe him. What do you no longer settle for? So so now that he's passed over, he's not scared anymore. He's not scared. He's going to tell the truth no matter what now. What are you spending more energy on than you have to give? So he may have been having his energy drained, or whatever happened to him drained his energy. It may have taken his motivation from him. It may have taken his drive, his vital force, um his want to go on, or to something about spending his more energy than he had to give. Or maybe he was giving someone energy that wasn't reciprocating the energy. Maybe he's referring to a person. What is this energy? What do you want to stop apologizing for? What do you want to stop apologizing for? What do you want to stop apologizing for? So there's something here. Whatever happened to him, he was being gaslit. He was being gaslit about something that happened to him. He was being made to feel like what he did may have been his fault, what or whatever happened to him was something that he should be grateful for. Not a lot of people get this opportunity. You should be grateful that you're in this experience because we don't choose, something like that. Like, how abusers will be like, but you made me do it, or something, or it's not that bad. It's not as bad as you think. Something like that. Something like that. Let me clarify. What can I use to clarify? What can I use to clarify? How about consequences? We'll do the consequence cards. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be able to get a higher perspective of your human experience. It's my honor to bring the messages forward. Do you lie about your spittle? Spirit just said spittle. Do you lie about your height? Have you ever broken a bone doing something stupid? Do you lie about your height? Do you lie about your height? Have you ever broken a bone doing something stupid? So, Chris Kelly may have lived a lie. He may have been lying about what happened to him, or he had to lie, or something like that. Something that broke him. Something stupid that he did, or something that he regrets doing that broke him like a bone, that he had to lie about, that he was in grief about something. Oh my gosh. Do you fold your clothes and put them away when you're done with the laundry? Oh my gosh, I hate folding clothes. Do you tag people when you're not in the photo or weren't there? Do you tag people when you're not in the photo or weren't there? Do you fold your clothes and put them away when you're done with the laundry? It's like he was bag tagged and treated like a rag, something like that, where he felt like he was used and abused and then thrown away. He was put out on the shelf and then he was put away, and he felt used. He felt awkward and used. Okay. Um, do you tag people when they're not in the photo or weren't there? Yeah. So there's something about him being broken and being used and not being in photos anymore, not getting the attention. It was like he was love bombed or something, Like um first they were like, "Oh, you're so talented and we're going to do this for you and that for you and we have all these plans." And it was all about the impression. It was all about the look and all of Sir Trap. It was all based on what it looked like. But really underneath he was living a lie, and he wasn't this what he was portraying. And so that really broke him because he felt bad. He felt bad that he had to pretend to be somebody he wasn't, for one, that he had to pretend to be happy about something that happened to him, that he had to lie about, that he felt he couldn't even tell anybody about. When was the time you shared your truth, even if it felt risky? Confirmation. And so it started to change him. It started to put him in a dark place where he felt used and abused, and he kept feeling he was feeling grief and regret and resentment for choices he made, because he probably blamed himself for putting himself in a position to get to this point, because he cared more about impression instead of expression. And so it got him to a place where he was put in a position where he became broken. Some Oh, cadence. It may have happened like over a long period of time, because Spirits just said cadence. It might not have been something that was like bam and all of a sudden overnight this is where he was. Might have been like love bombing over like a period of time where it was like love bomb, abuse, then gaslighting, love bomb, abuse, gaslighting, love bomb, abuse, gaslighting. It may have been like over time. And so that's why there was like a gradual change in his behavior, his emotional state. Do you drink straight out of the family size container? It may have caused him to be an alcoholic or have some kind of addictions. Do you ever eat in bed? Some kind of addictions he could have had because of what happened. But now that he's crossed over, he was afraid to tell anybody the truth, because his truth would have disrupted a lot of things for him. For one, it would have disrupted the image, the impression that they had built up about who he was in this hip hop group. It would have ended. He didn't. A lot of times what we find is that people who want to be famous are targeted by record execs and moguls and record companies and producers because they have a propensity to want to be accepted, okay, to want to be loved, to want to be adored, and they usually have some kind of underlying wound of rejection, and they don't want to be rejected because they're rejected by their mom or their dad, or and so when they're targeted, um and they're this particular person was targeted at a young age, they can be very easily influenced and can want the wrong things and not understand what they truly want and what that comes with. And so this person, Chris Kelly, he died at 34 on May 1st, 2013. He was only 34. This says right here, or in the Bible, in the Psalm 17, it said, taken from the world at his prime by his enemies. So he may have been taken out because he may have wanted to share his truth, even if it felt risky. They may What do you no longer settle for? He may have been being paid to not say something. Maybe he took some kind of settlement, because Spirit said court case. He may have taken some kind of settlement or something, or he may have taken someone to court and received an amount of money to be quiet about something that happened to them. Something that took their energy, something that changed their behavior, something that broke them, because no amount of money is going to change the emotional trauma that was gained from whatever this is. There's a disease. Weren't we talking about something unexpected came that was sick? Spirit said disease is someone transferred their disease to him, okay? So, and it broke him. And no matter what he settled for in court, whatever amount of money they may have gotten, it still made him become an alcoholic or have some kind of addiction. So that's really sad. So he may have been taken out because he was tired of living a lie, and he may have done something stupid that put his life in danger. Because he wanted to tell the truth. Do you call Wednesday hump day? Do you swear a lot? Yeah, it may have caused some kind of conflict, some kind of bump in the road for somebody that they had to straighten out, because Chris Kelly may have been like a live wire that would have changed the trajectory of someone's life, that may have abused them, that he took a settlement from, some kind of court case. You get called by a nickname you hate. KrisCross. KrisCross. He hated being associated with this group, because this group is associated with his trauma. Whatever this trauma is, it happened when he joined this group. And he hated it. It was changing him in a bad way, and he didn't like that. Do you take the shampoo bottles at a hotel so that housekeeping will replace them? Material. Okay, I get what you're saying. Miss Spirit just said material. It reminded him that what first started as wanting to express himself and be different and unique and share that with the world became something that became material. It became very 3D. It was exploited. His young youth, his creation, his group that he was in became exploited. He was an exploited child. I mean, I think they were like, I think I read that they were like 13 or something. 13 and 14 when they first started the group. So he may have gotten like a lump sum of money from some kind of court case. Maybe he filed some kind of case against whoever did him wrong. Maybe against Jermaine Dupri. I'm not sure. How do I look that up? How do I look that up? Court case? Oh my gosh, it just says court case. Chris Kelly court case. Chris Kelly of KrisCross court case. Well, he died of an overdose. Succubus. He may have had a sexually transmitted demon, a succubus. Spirit just said succubus. Well, I don't see anything publicly about a court case, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't settled in private and NDAs were signed. Okay? So I don't know. I just thought I'd try to look it up. Okay. So we know that. So we're understanding the emotional side of what happened to him. You know, sometimes Spirit doesn't like to it's really none of our business what exactly happened to him. Mostly they try to share the lessons that were learned or from a higher perspective, what they know now that they wish they would have known then, kind of thing. But we'll continue and see. So, knowledge, archaeologists. So he was living in the past. He was living in the past, trying to piece together a slice of history, because he was fragmented. Didn't we talk about we're going to make the next episode of Spirit News be about integrating your soul fragments. His soul was fractured because of this, because of the profession he chose, and locked. His soul was fragmented into tiny pieces because something in history was repeating, and he was living in the past because he didn't know how to. He kept trying to dig up old trauma. He didn't know how to let it go. He didn't know how to move on from it. He kept digging up old fossils of his past. He thought what he wanted would be glamorous, but it was not the most glamorous job. And it ended up establishing his world, and he couldn't evolve himself. He couldn't evolve himself because he kept living in the past. He kept searching for reasons why this happened to him. Whatever happened to him that's related to an old relationship or job he had. He keeps reflecting his desire to learn more about why this happened to him, and he may have, and where it came from. He wanted to understand a wider world and his place within it. Curator. He may have been learning the history of what happened to him. Because he wanted to preserve the knowledge for future generations, because he wanted to stop it from happening. Librarian web content manager. He was becoming a collector and custodian of knowledge about a well order, about an order of others that has access information to knowledge. He became frustrated in his personal search for this information because he didn't feel capable of taking on this sort of work. His dream job, he couldn't do his dream job because it would, and he became frustrated because he didn't feel capable of taking on this kind of work from this of not he didn't feel capable of taking on this kind of work from a well order of others that had access to knowledge and a collection of knowledge and order. So basically, what he's saying is that this glamorous job that he thought would be so glamorous as a kid, he realized that it was run by some kind of order that had access to knowledge, that were custodians of secret knowledge that he didn't feel he was capable of doing. So whatever this knowledge is, he's like, I traditionalist, something that's ancient, something that's old. This is right here. Ancient burial mounds, ancient papyri, deciphering contents of prehistoric burial mounds. So some kind of ancient knowledge that's from the past, that's being kept by custodians of knowledge from this order that is connected with this dream job he wanted, which was this. He thought it'd be so glamorous, but he realized that he wouldn't be able to do the things they were asking him to do to preserve this knowledge. But he wanted to help his future generations. Oh, I see what you're saying. He wanted to his career advancement. Oh, he wanted, oh my gosh. He wanted to advance his career, but he didn't know if he was capable of doing the things that were asked of him in order to do that by this order. Damn. Hello, we're talking to Chris Kelly from KrisCross. He's telling us what happened to him. He died in 2013 at age 34. According to him so far, something traumatic happened to him that was unexpected and unnatural and was sick. It may have been something he was introduced to when he thought he got his dream job that he thought would be glamorous, but he thought it would evolve him and it would solidify future generations for him. But he realized that the order that had access to ancient information had him doing things that frustrated him, and he didn't know he was capable of doing it to solidify his career advancement because whatever it was sick, and he didn't know if he could do it easily and quickly. It wasn't something that came easy to him, maybe because he actually is sensitive and has a moral compass. So it may have conflicted with his beliefs about what he would want to do to advance his career. And that might be where, what do you want to stop apologizing for? That might be where the gaslighting starts happening, because they're like, you have the opportunity of a lifetime, we let you in, and now you're chickening out, and you're supposed to, you took an oath, and a blood oath, and all these things, gaslighting them. Not everyone gets this opportunity. You're ungrateful. This is something that if you want to solidify your future generations, this is what you have to do. You're not a real man. All the things. And so he became a victim of that, and he says, "What do you want to stop apologizing for?" Spirit said, "Plug." That might have made him, put him into the energy of addiction to try to forget that he did something that he regrets, that he wanted to speak out about, something that is unbelievable, something that's unnatural, something that was unexpected, that was sick, something that created a challenge for him. Yeah, a great challenge for him because it disconnected him from his soul's path. It was something he couldn't overcome or let go. He didn't know how to feel. He didn't know what to feel about it because it was so different than what he was used to, and it accelerated a big darkness inside of him. Yeah, then I tell you, disconnected. He became disconnected from love. And he didn't know what his values were anymore because he was in an illusion and of confusion. So he didn't understand. I could feel the confliction within him, and I think and what I touched on before is they target people who don't have great upbringings, who have this chip on their shoulder about, not, look at P. Diddy. He admitted that he grew up in poverty and he got tired of waking up to roaches on his face. And so he swore in that moment, right then and there, with the roaches on his face, I will never, I'm going to make it. I'm not going to be here. And that's where a fragment, a soul fracture happens when you are in a situation you don't want and you want to get out of it because you think that having a nice house or having the cars or being able to do this and that with money is going to make you happy, but it's the wrong way to go about getting what you want. It's not going to give you love, it's not going to make you feel love, it's not going to make you feel full, it's not going to make you feel fulfillment. It never does and it never will. And that was the illusion. And that's why he was confused, because he was given this opportunity to create this form of expression, but it became more about the way it looked. KrisCross always wore their clothes backwards. There are children here, but they were children. They were only like 13, 14 years old, 12 or 13, 14, around there. And so you have this mentor, which we should be really careful who we allow mentor our children. Because these are not mentors. Jermaine Dupri, Puff Daddy, these are not mentors. These are men who are broken, who were broken by somebody before them, who never healed their wounds, who have mommy daddy issues, who hurt people, and they want to assert their power and dominance over people. And they've been given positions of power that target young people or people who have this chip on their shoulder of rejection, that want more, and they take advantage of that. They exploit them. So there's something about an order that was part of his glamorous dream job. So we already know that, the entertainment industry is essentially like some kind of, I don't want to call it a religion because I'm not 100% sure what they would call themselves, but it feels like a fraternity. It's usually like full of men, and they have some kind of, you know, sexual deviancy where they, because a lot of men will who are in that energy are need root work. They have an underactive or an overactive root chakra, and they'll be very like they receive security by overpowering others or by asserting dominance or overtaking people and taking their power away through sex, which to me it doesn't make any sense. I That's not power, that's like complete insecurity. I don't know how you don't see that, but they don't see it for whatever reason. We're not judging them. So that's something, some kind of ancient knowledge that this that this certain spirit said, some kind of ancient knowledge that was introduced to him through his dream job, that he couldn't do. He couldn't do it because it was a challenge, because he wanted to accelerate his career, but at the same time, the very act of doing this disconnects you from love, because that's not how you that's not how you manifest anything. So he did it, whatever it is, it was done to him, or he did it, I don't know which one. Whatever it is, it was traumatic, it was unexpected, it was unnatural, and it was sick, and it caused a lot of confusion and challenges for him because it disconnected him from love. And so he had some kind of weird tug and pull of wanting so badly um to attain future generational wealth, but at the same time, at what cost? Like, God will never make you do something that's so unnatural and disgusting and against your values that it would disconnect you from love, because love is the only true emotion in the whole universe. God is pure positive energy. You are pure positive energy having a human experience. So when you do things for material wealth or gain that disconnect you from love, you just know right then and there that is not God. That's not God. It's not, no matter what ancient knowledge it is, it's not meant for you. It's a test, it's a test. But we don't understand this because we're not taught this. We're not taught this in our day and age. And so people, just like in the Bible, still dabble with magic and ancient rituals, and it's just silly to think that you would ever have to do something that would hurt somebody else or hurt yourself in order to manifest abundance. Never. Those two things are two different energies. They'll never match each other. Ever. Okay? All right. What else? I feel bad for him. We'll look in the philosophy books. Holy Divine Spirit, Chris Kelly, please tell us what else you want us to know. I'm not good at questions. I want to be good at asking questions, okay? So, what did they make you do? What did they make you do? Critique of pure reason, transcendental aesthetic. Immanuel Kant. A man you will can't. A man you will can't. I don't know, it sounded like something different, like a man you can't, or something. Against elucidation. What's elucidation? Let me look that up. Elucidation. Elucidation.
Here's the definition of elucidation. Explanation that makes something clear. Clarification.
Oh, we're about to get elucidation? Okay. Against this theory, which grants that time is empirically real, but disputes that it is real absolutely and transcendentally, I have heard men of insight raise quite unanimously an objection. Men of insight raise an objection. I gather from this great unanimity that the objection must occur naturally to every reader who is not accustomed to contemplation such as these. Wow. Okay. So he's saying that it was empirically granted unanimously that Men of insight unanimously decided an objection to Chris Kelly's life, and that it must be taken but made to look like it occurred naturally to every reader, to the public. Wow. Even if one were to not, it needs to appear as if it was his own presentation. He died of an overdose. It needs to appear like it was part of his own presentation, even if one were to deny all outer appearances along with their changes. Wow. Wow, that's messed up. Oh. For Chris Kelly, time was indeed something actual because it was cut short. The actual form of inner intuition was cut short. He died at 34. Subjective reality in regard to inner experience. Have the presentation of time and of my determinations in time. Hence, time is to be regarded as actual, though not as an object, but as the way of presenting that I myself have as an object. Suppose, on the other hand, that I could intuit myself without being subject to this condition of sensibility, or that another being could so intuit me. In that case, the very same Okay. In that case, the very same determinations that we now present as changes would provide a cognition in which the presentation of time, and hence also that of change, would not occur at all. Hence, time retains its empirical reality as condition of all our experiences. That is so funny. It says right here, he's saying that even though they must use this order must use some kind of divination to determine moments of time, um, some kind of form of divination to intuit things that may come to pass. They unalived Chris because they may have used some form of divination, and they determined that it would, or they read or intuited something about um, the timeline where they thought this would uh, benefit them. But in all actuality, because we're reading his 1900s, because we're reading his energy, it's actually not good for them. Because we can't infringe on their free will, but we can ask his energy to come through, and as a spirit medium, spirits are mysteriously, as a spirit medium, we can actually determine what the truth is and what really happened to him. It says right here that I suppose, on the other hand, that I could intuit myself without being subject to this condition of sensibility of time, or that another being like me could so intuit me. In that case, the very same determinations that we now present as changes would provide a cognition in which the presentation of time, and hence also that of change, would not occur at all. Man, oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, so this is what happened. he wanted to talk, okay? He wanted to talk. He was starting to understand that this order had some kind of crazy ancient knowledge that they use to for generational wealth. They use it to manifest things, but it's sick. It's sick. He's not for it. He doesn't want to do it. It may have caused emotional upheaval for him. And so he started talking. When was the time you shared your truth, even if it felt risky? He may have started to talk, or said he was going to talk, or that he was starting to tell people about this order, about what they made him do, or they use divination. They use divination. Thank you, Spirit. They use divination or some way to read the future timeline that he was going to do this. And so they're like, well, we'll take him out. And then it won't matter. It won't, it'll never be found out what we did or what we made him do or whatever the trauma was. Okay? But see, that was a mistake because because we can actually ask him because that's what we're doing right now, and they didn't foresee this. And the reason they didn't foresee it is because when you use divination to intuit the future of a future, there's millions of timelines happening right now. You can read one timeline that says unaliving Chris Kelly will make it so the truth doesn't come out about you. Okay, sure. That could be one timeline. But what if someone like me jumps timelines into my north node, into my ultimate potential, and my ultimate potential is to be a spirit medium? You can't foresee that because there's so many different timelines. It's like there's that one and there's this one, and then there's like five other, it's just like it's too much because there's no time. There's no such thing as time. Everything's happening right now. And so they didn't ever think that Chris would be able to bring the truth out. But it says right here that another being could intuit me, that read their energy. I'm reading his energy right now because he's passed over and he's given me permission to read it. So they didn't expect this to happen. So it's changing what the timeline they saw. It's literally changing it in real time. So oh my God, I just got a download. Every time we tap in to somebody who is calling justice on those who did wrong against them, it actually changes the timeline and more truth will come out. It's like every time we do one of these reads, something new will come out about Diddy or about whoever, whatever other. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. If we take away from time the qualification, that is, the special condition of our sensibility, then the concept of time vanishes as well. Time attaches not to objects themselves, but merely to the subject intuiting them. Wow. So they used divination to see a timeline they wanted to see, not the actual timeline that would unfold naturally. They don't know shit about energy. Oh my god, that is hilarious. But what causes this objection to be raised so unanimously? And white light, the light. God is not going to let you see what they don't want you to see. Okay? There's no ancient ritual more powerful here on earth than the creator. So it's even a test for them. Whoever helped Chris Kelly attain their glamour job is part of an order that uses ancient ritual knowledge to attain their wealth. And whatever this ritual is sick and unnatural and against God. And he couldn't do it. And he didn't want to do it. And he was going to come out about it. And that's why they unalived him, because They use their divination to see a timeline that was only intuited by them because that's the timeline that they wanted, that they desired. So that's what was shown to them because they don't understand how energy works. They don't understand how the laws of the universe work. They just take these rituals that they probably found in like a basement or something and they read them from their consciousness level now, which is based on the ego, power, and material wealth. And so they don't understand it from a higher perspective because all they want is power. So because they couldn't foresee by unaliving Chris Kelly, the timeline that we're in actually calls for the truth to be revealed because we can intuit his energy because he's passed over. If he wasn't passed over, we wouldn't even be able to get his energy because he wouldn't have given us permission to. So we wouldn't know. Oh, so that's his vindication. It was their own stupidity that made the truth come out. Let me see if I can. What time is it? 1:54. All right. What are these rituals they're doing? What are these rituals that they're doing? Can you tell me anything about the rituals they're doing? That's why he couldn't do it. Because it was against his values. It was against his values. That's why he couldn't do it. He didn't want to do it. He didn't believe in it. He didn't think it was right. So he was going to tell everyone. He was going to tell everyone so everyone could see what they do. That's why he was unalived. Because they do things they shouldn't do. That's against God. That's unnatural. That's where it said mischief. Possibly things with animals as well. So, whatever knowledge, whatever ancient knowledge they have is not of the light. It's not something that. This says December 14th specifically. I don't know. Maybe this is a prophetic. Maybe this is a prediction, but something about December 14th. 1 plus 4 is 5. December is the 12th. That's 1 plus 2 is 3. 35, 53, 41, 14, 12, 21. Trains, boats, helicopters. There's boats, trains, helicopters, kites, sports, art, gambling. I'm not sure what this card's saying. Maybe someone's going to try to escape, or whoever is part of this order may be trying some kind of escape, or some information might come out around December 14th about something that they're connected to that has to do with um the spirit just said suitcase. I told you they're going to try to flee. They're going to try to leave the country, perhaps on a private helicopter or train or boat, but they're definitely connected to lots of business of commerce or commerce or something. Um Possibly to athletes. There's a lot of connections here. There's some kind of connection to a lot of maybe something about human, possibly about human trafficking. They most likely, Spirit said. Oh geez, around December 14th there may be some kind of information that comes out about how this order is attached to some kind of human trafficking and could possibly find the resources in which they do this by, which could be by trains, boats, and helicopters. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much, Chris Kelly, for coming through. I appreciate you so much. I'm so happy that you shared your experience with us. I'm so grateful to have brought you through. Thank you so much for the lessons and the guidance and the love and support. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm so happy to be here. Yesterday came out the family. Yesterday came out the family. Came out to the family or got out of your family. Hi Julie, thank you for being here. I'm gonna end it now. Thank you so much, you guys. That was fun. That was a great one. I felt very receptive. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing Chris Kelly through. Thank you, Chris Kelly. I'm so grateful. Love and light to you guys. Remember to find joy in all situations, and I love you so much. Bye.